Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, Europe is facing one of the biggest challenges since the Second World War. Putin's aggression against a peaceful neighbor is not only a blow to our European security order, it is also a threat against sovereign countries around the globe and our international rules-based order. And I'm proud of the fast and decisive reaction that Europe and like-minded partners have shown. But we cannot be complacent. The question of how we respond to this war will have long-lasting consequences, also for our economies, for our energy supply, our supply chains, and the future of our trade relations with the world, just to name a few. This is what I want to focus on today. Because for all of these questions, we need visionaries like you. Europeans are standing with Ukraine. Never will we be able to match their sacrifices. But Europe is facing a daunting mix of challenges: inflation, increased gas prices, economic uncertainty. And Europeans are coping courageously and creatively. In fact, the European Union has decided resolutely to get completely rid of its dependence on Russian fossil fuels, once and for all. We have to diversify away from Russia towards our friends like the United States and Norway that are reliable suppliers. Take that, our import of Russian gas has already gone down to a third of what it used to be. Today, for example, Europe is importing more gas from Norway than from Russia. And in addition, we have already filled our gas storages to around 85% of their capacity. That's good news because we are overshooting our goals. But moreover, we need to reduce our use of gas. And we propose to provide member states with financial firepower of 140 billion euros to support in a targeted manner vulnerable households and businesses that cannot cope anymore with the high electricity prices. All this bouquet of measures is a symbol for European solidarity, and we can be confident that we will manage this winter. But we have to think further ahead, because this is not only an energy crisis. This is a fossil fuel crisis, a security crisis, and a climate crisis, all at once. So our solutions cannot be a quick fix. We need a change in paradigm. Just think back to the 1970s, when the world faced another fossil fuel crisis. Some of us, at least those who are my age, remember the car-free Sundays to save energy. Yet, we kept driving on the same road. We did not get rid of our dependency on oil. And worse, fossil fuels were even massively subsidized. This was wrong, not just for the climate, but also for our public finances and our independence. And we're still paying the price for this today. Only a few visionaries understood at that time that the real problem was the fossil fuels themselves, not just their price. And among them were our Danish friends. When the oil crisis hit, Denmark started to invest heavily into harnessing the power of the wind. They laid the foundations for its global leadership in this sector and created tens of thousands of new jobs. This is the way to go. And the good news is, this necessary transformation has already started. With the European Green Deal, we have a roadmap for a net zero future by 2050. We can see this future in the North Sea or the Baltic Sea, where EU member states agree to invest massively into offshore wind generation. Or we can see it in Sicily, where Europe's largest solar panel factory will soon manufacture the newest generation of panels. And we can see it in northern Germany, where regional trains now run on green hydrogen. Green hydrogen can be a game changer for Europe. We need to move our hydrogen economy from niche to scale. And this is why I propose a new EU hydrogen bank, because this bank will bridge the investment gap that we have today, and it will connect future supply and future demand. So this is how we power the economy of the future. And I do not have to tell you what opportunities there are for creative entrepreneurs. This is why we need today's visionaries. Ladies and gentlemen, whether we talk about cells for solar panels or chips for virtual reality, the twin transition, the green and the digital, will be fueled by raw materials. Lithium and rare earth are already replacing gas and oil at the heart of our economy. By 2030, our demand for those rare earth metals will increase 5-fold. And basically this is a good sign, because it shows that our European Green Deal is moving fast. The not so good news is one country dominates the market. And we have to avoid falling into the same dependency as with oil and gas. And this is where our trade policy comes into place. New partnerships will advance not only our vital interests, but also our values and the standards that we have. We need to update our links to reliable countries and key growth regions. But securing supplies is only a first step. The processing of these metals is just as critical. And today China controls the global processing industry completely. Almost 90% of rare earth and 60% of lithium are processed in China. We will identify strategic projects all along the supply chain, from extraction to refining, from processing to recycling, and we will build up strategic reserves where supply is at risk. This and more is why we are now working on a European Critical Raw Materials Act. We know that this approach can work because we've done it before. You might recall that 5 years ago, Europe launched the Battery Alliance. And today, soon 2/3 of the batteries we need will be produced here in Europe. Or take last year, we announced the European Chips Act. And the first chips gigafactory will break ground in Germany in the coming month. We now need to replicate this success for the raw materials, with the help of today's visionaries like you. So let's make sure that the future of SMEs and industry is made in Europe. Thank you for your attention.